What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be covering the Golden State Warriors following their 4-2 loss in the Western Conference semifinals against the LA Lakers, and more specifically what they have to do in this offseason to make sure that they return to the playoffs and make a deep playoff run, if not contend for a championship again. So if you guys do enjoy the video, I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. I will really appreciate it. It's only one little click of a button. But look, without further ado, let's get right into it. Steph Curry's only got 3, maybe 4 or 5 more years left where the Warriors can realistically contend for a championship. And you look at all the assets that they have, all these future first round draft picks, you have to consolidate them and trade them for a reliable second option or a second star to pair with Curry to win now. Because the likelihood of finding someone in the next 1 to 2 drafts that will turn out to be that second player that the Warriors need to pair with Curry is next to impossible. You look, I think a learning lesson for the Warriors is when they had Wiseman at number 2 and Kuminga at number 7. They could have floated around those two assets and traded them away for a win now type player, but they didn't, and look where they are now. Wiseman was a dud, and Kuminga, I think, has got great potential, but he wasn't really playing meaningful minutes in the playoffs. Also, to be fair, the Warriors did also have Moses Moody, who's turned out to be a pretty good contributor, and Jordan Poole, who I know he's memed a lot, whatever, but all things considered, he was a late first round draft pick, and by all means, he's surpassed his expectations. But you look at it like this. Klay Thompson, obviously future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest shooters of all time. He's not a number 2 guy on a championship team anymore. His defense has completely fallen off. His shot selection is garbage, if I'm being honest. And, you know, even pre-injury, Klay wasn't that guy who could just put the ball on the floor and consistently find his own looks. And now you couple that with the fact that he's extremely inconsistent. The Warriors just need a second guy. Now, Jordan Poole, he's interesting because he has shown a lot of shot creating abilities, and he has that potential. But when he did step on the floor in these playoffs, he, obviously defensively, he contributed absolutely nothing. Offensively, he looked rather he didn't look very engaged. When he went to the bench, it looked like he was chucking a sook. When he was shooting the ball, he wasn't shooting very well, and he wasn't really providing much value. Andrew Wiggins, he's a complementary offensive piece. He's not a number 2 guy, maybe even not even a number 3 guy. So yeah, look, the Warriors, they're going to have to pull something out of their ass if they want to get a second star or a second option next to Steph Curry because of all the money that's already tied into Curry, Klay, Draymond, Wiggins, and Poole. But that's my number 1 priority this offseason for the Warriors. The next thing that the Warriors have to do this offseason is trade Jordan Poole. Now, Jordan Poole's value is obviously at an all-time low, which is bad for the Warriors. But with that being said, there might be a team that's interested in Jordan Poole, maybe a rebuilding team, or a team that just needs to go in a different direction, that looks at Jordan Poole as a young player, averaged over 20 points per game this season, has shown flashes of all-star talent, and can obviously create a shot at a very high level when he's engaged, when he's locked in, maybe when he doesn't have all the lights on him, right? And so I look at it that way, and I look at the fact that if the Warriors are to get a second star, any package is going to have to lead with a Jordan Poole trade or a Jordan Poole sign and trade. And realistically, a trade offer comprising of, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and a few first-round picks, it's not the best trade offer that any team has out there, but it's certainly not the worst either. And I think any team that's looking to move on from some of their stars, or if the Warriors are trying to get their hands on a second star that also needs a change of scenery, you think of someone like a Pascal Siakam if the Toronto Raptors, make him available, a Bradley Beal, or a Paul George if the Clippers decide to blow it up. It all starts with Jordan Poole. So that's my next move for the Golden State Warriors. Move on from Jordan Poole. Next, the Warriors need to add an offensive-minded stretch big. Now, I know that these players don't just grow on trees, but you look at the way that the roster is constructed right now with Draymond and Looney up front, the paint can get clogged as fuck with both of those guys on the floor offensively. So they really need someone that they can stagger and play with either Draymond or either Looney and kind of draw that defensive attention away from the guards as well. And I think, linking back to my first point, getting a reliable second option for Steph, Pascal Siakam would be a dream player, but he's probably not very realistic. But if they do get him for whatever reason, that puts the Warriors right back in title contention. Another player to keep an eye out for is Christian Wood, who saw his value drop tremendously as well ever since getting benched by the Mavericks and seeing his playing time become almost non-existent. He is a free agent coming up at the end of this year, and there's a lot of intrigue for both parties in my opinion. Firstly, Wood, I don't think many teams are going to be going after him because obviously his value has tanked. He's not known as being a great defender, and in the locker room, he's not known as a very good locker room guy either, and he's bounced around between a lot of teams in the league in recent memory. And so I look at it that way, and I think that presents an opportunity for the Golden State Warriors to come in, poach him, probably for the taxpayers, MLE, mid-level exception, and it can be a win-win for both sides as a kind of 1 year prove-it type deal for Wood to prove that he still can be a very, very good player and then chase the bag next season. So I think there's a ton of potential for that to happen. And when I look at the fit, I think it's a win. It's a great fit for both parties. Obviously for Wood, this is an opportunity to change his reputation. And I think he can do that by joining the Warriors because the Warriors, they have a lot of vets on their team, they have a very experienced coaching staff who can probably take Christian Wood's physical tools and make him into a good defender. And then offensively, you look at what Wood can do. He's one of the better stretch bigs in the entire league, and he's someone that can put the ball on the floor. He averaged around 20 and 10 with 2.5 blocks as a starter, so there's a ton of potential. And I think if there's any team that can unleash that potential, it's the Warriors. And so that's pretty much the top 3 things that I have the Warriors needing to do this offseason to return to the playoffs and make a deeper playoff run. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Obviously, like I said earlier in the video, if you guys do enjoy it, please, please, please do subscribe. I will greatly appreciate that. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.